One of these days I'll get tired of that, but I'm not techie enough to do that whole music thing like so many people are doing before their shows. So thank you, StreamYard, for giving us a few different music tunes to choose from. I'd like a few more, though, that were free. All right, guys, welcome to Jax and Guess. Oh, I got two amazing guests tonight. I'm so excited to share them both with you. We are going to have a really great show. Oh, guys, what a week it's been. If you have not been living under a rock, you know this country, the United States, is going through some turmoil. If you do not realize it, every place around the world has some struggles, and some of them are just rough, rough, rough. So we are going to spend this hour together trying to lift each other up, trying to realize what other people might be going through and try to put a few smiles on people's face. Let people know that you are not alone. Hurt is going on. It's a lot right now. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to have as much clarity and safe feelings and not feeling like you have to be looking over your shoulder and be in fear all the time and not have that icky feeling in your belly. But right now, some people are struggling a lot more than others. And I want to invite you to give yourself some grace as you process things. Now, there is also in my state, in the state of Michigan, there is a lot of stuff going on right now in regards to the state budget, especially in the nonprofit world. And in those of you that know me, my day job is in nonprofit, and it's kind of terrifying thinking about some of the changes that could be happening. So as we're joining ourselves together, as you're going to hear from two great, amazing guests, as you're going to be thinking about some of the stuff going on, give each other a little bit of grace too. I already see some amazing people here, and I know some people are jumping right from Felipe's show over here. We're going to give Felipe a few minutes to decompress so we can make sure that he goes on and has a break from his other show. Annette's going to be here in just a couple minutes. Guys, I love these two. They are both children's authors. They are both co-authors. All three of us. Thank you, Nick. And then Felipe and I also did this one. I mean, guys, get to know your LinkedIn friends, get to know their businesses, watch Just Jackson Guess, because you'll get to hear it from them here. But guys, there are so many things you can connect with. So, oh my gosh, thank you guys for being here. Jason's here, and Kenny's here, and Melissa's here. Oh, let's see. John, thank you for being here. I'm excited to have you here in the house. Guys, we've got a lot to talk about today, but if you are a regular follower of my page, if you get to see a lot of my posts, I have put on a couple different polls lately, and one of those polls just closed. So today I put the answers on that. That was like, how do you know? How well do you know Jackie? So go back and check that if you haven't. But the other poll that's still open, I think until probably tomorrow morning for my time, is about my tattoos. It's, hey, I was getting a new tattoo on Friday. Where's it going to be? And what's the other thing? Where's it going to be? And what kind of a thing is it going to be? And then I also had asked like how many I had. So I just got my 9th tattoo. It is actually technically my 10th one because I had one when I was really young that's totally covered up. So you can't see a 10th one, but I definitely went through it. So if you want to go to check out that poll, go ahead and check it out and say where you think my new tattoo is, and I will unveil it in a little bit. A couple other things that I wanted to share about is that if you were confused yesterday, I did a pre-recorded Just Jackson Guess for the very first time. Guys, I was so proud of myself knowing how to do that technology and setting it up. Thank you again, StreamYard, for making it so smooth to be able to stream still to my YouTube channel, which is at Jackie Hallberg LMSW. Please subscribe if you haven't. You can go back and see so many cool interviews with different guests. Awesome, awesome stuff. It also streamed to my Facebook, and then it streamed to LinkedIn. So you can go to my page yesterday or on LinkedIn to see it, or you can go to the YouTube channel, check it out. It's called Mija, and that is a friend's locally, her business helping lift up Latinas, and it is really on leadership coaching, and she's doing an amazing wellness retreat in person, like literally 20-25 minutes away from where I live. So if you want a reason to come visit me or come visit West Michigan, check it out. Like I said, you can watch the replay, super easy. Message me if you have questions about it. I'm super excited to hype her. Yesterday, I also did a little video clip with the one and only Noah Asher. He is almost always in the comments here, so you may see him pop in later on. His book launch is in October, and so he's having different people in the reentry space actually help him highlight each one of his chapters. And I got chapter number 2, which was absolutely one of my favorite chapters in that book because I got to read it early. It was so much fun to support him and to be able to talk to people that will be able to watch these videos while they are still incarcerated. And then hopefully also those that are outside will want to watch this as well. You do not have to be somebody that works in reentry or corrections or somebody that has been incarcerated to want to be involved in reentry and learn about it. So definitely excited. Yesterday was a very, very busy day. Let's see, what else do I got? Oh, did anybody see my post yesterday? It said that Miss Jackie, here, me, I got some new rebranding coming on. Guys, I am super excited to share very little right now, but there is going to be a very big launch here real soon to get a chance to connect some of my businesses because some people get a little confused about all I do. And guys, I've been around the world a long time, so I do a lot and I've got a lot of experience and I need to package it in just a little bit different way. So thank you guys for being here. Oh, Noah's in the house now. I just shouted out about our time together yesterday and how much I love your book and so thankful I was in chapter 2. So very cool stuff. Jay's here and I see Gregory joined us and Adrian, Christy. I love Christy. Christy is such a supportive person and I appreciate her greatly. Randy's in the house. I just saw that Felipe got in the backstage, so that means his show is over. I appreciate so much those of you that are doing double duty going from his show and then here. We're going to let him catch his break and I am going to bring up the amazing, the most beautiful, talented, awesome voiced lady, Annette. Are you ready for her? Annette, are you ready to come on stage with us? Annie, I see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Just in time for our first guest to come on stage. Ready? Ready? Here she is. Hello.
Thank you for the introduction. How much do I owe you?
I am totally accepting thank yous and shares of my YouTube channel and all of that. No cash accepted. Oh, I'm so glad to have you, Annette. You were supposed to be here about a month ago and that my son got in that bad accident. My brain got scattered and our dates got all confused. And you were so gracious to me. So gracious. Thank you.
Family first. Family first.
I appreciate you. Guys, I know some of you know her very well. Like I said, she's been in some books with Nick. She has, she's probably done so many things you've never realized it was her voice that you're listening to. We're going to get into all of that in a few minutes, but most of you know that I love to start the show with asking the same 3 questions to everybody. And this is just to kind of, we do it for a couple of things. First of all, because I love the questions. I think they're important that we all take a minute to think about them, but it helps you recognize the person behind the business, behind the ask, behind what they do just online. So Miss Annette, the very first question to get people to know who you are a little bit more is, tell us 2 things that you are either proud of yourself for or that you really are thankful that you've accomplished, something that was a goal that you set out for yourself and you nailed it.
Well, this is perfect timing, Jackie, because I just returned from my 40th high school reunion and it was a love fest. And we were all talking about what we dreamed about doing. And one of the things I had on my list was my favorite English teacher said, Annette, you're going to be in television today. You're a creative being. So to develop those books was just one of the most amazing things to me because I made that come true. And I think the other thing is that I made my dreams come true because I was born in Barbados and I remember sitting in front of the television set. And I don't know if you remember the original Parent Trap. It's not Lindsay, it's Juliet Mills. And I saw her in what we call the telly because it's a British Commonwealth. And so we get all these British shows and I saw Nanny and the Professor and I was like, what are these people doing in that box? And I said, oh, this is my world. This is what I want to do. I want to be in the arts. It's not an actressness per se, but I think that's the second thing. I made my dreams come true. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, but that's amazing. I love that so much. Yeah. Like, seriously, you just had joy when you were talking about it. I love that so much. Isn't she just gorgeous? Okay, Gregory already commented on how cool your studio is. Gregory, this is her life. This is her business. We're going to get into all of that. But yeah, it's way fancier than my little donated little bookcase behind me. And one day I'll make it look better. But right now, this is what you get. You get it almost every time I'm on show. But I love it so much.
Well, so tell Gregory, my husband, amazing husband, gave up his closet. It was supposed to be his closet. So he gave up his closet.
So sometimes when you're this really cool business owner and you have your own business, and let me see, let me get here so you can see exactly that she actually has, this is the name of her business. Check it out. She's the CEO of her own business, and her office is a closet. Don't even tell me you can't make your dreams happen, because sometimes you just need to kick your husband out of the closet and turn it into a studio. I love that so very much. So very much. All right, Miss Annette, no matter how many books you have behind you, no matter all your journalism expertise, the voiceover awards you've gotten, the cool things you have done and accomplished, as a human, I know, just like me and every one of our listeners, whether they're catching us on replay, whether they're in with us live, we all got to learn. We got to keep growing. We got to be doing some stuff. So, what is something you're willing to share with everybody that you're still learning or growing in, something you're working on yourself for right now?
Oh, you got me with that one, Jackie. I got to think for a second. I'm trying to do a little more on-camera work. That's the beauty of voiceover. It opens that avenue for you as well as a voiceover artist. And so I've been making the cut per se, and then they do a little callbacks thing. So I told you I didn't think about being an actress, even though I was looking at Juliet Mills all this time, but that's something that has spilled over as well, doing on-camera stuff. So I'm not an actress. I've taken a couple classes, but I'm coming out of my comfort zone. And I think that's important when you're trying to grow as a human being. I was like, now I love watching my soap operas, but I was like, me? Really? So my agent has put me up for a couple things where I've made the cut, and then, they may go in another direction. But I think learning to come out of your comfort zone is important to me. So I would have to say that might be one of them.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Kenny Dunner said that his father was born in Barbados as well.
Bayesian man.
I love it. I love it. And of course, Christy knows your voice. So I think that's pretty cool. Very cool. So you're talking about getting more camera time, and look at you. You're on camera right now. And I know
I like
this is seen by baby viewers right now. It's growing. But every time you get behind the camera, there's just something new that sparks in you, and you deserve to have that energy shared with other people. So I'm so proud of you being willing to do that. Yeah. Anytime you want to come back or anytime you want to play around with cameras, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to walk alongside you on that. So last question that I have specifically that I ask all the guests, and then we're going to look at a few more comments, and then we are going to talk about some things that I want to make sure you highlight about you and your businesses. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, with or without the husband in his closet, regardless of money, regardless of your schedule, where would you want to go right now?
Well, I haven't been back home to Barbados in 2 years, so we could go there. But we also took a trip to Italy September 2022. It's magnificent. I highly recommend. It was amazing. And so that same group of friends that put that trip together text me today, Net. So next year, we're going to do Greece, Italy, Turkey. So I would have to say that's next on the bucket list.
That is amazing.
It was amazing. It was just amazing. I told him, I said, you already had one foot in heaven. Now you got both. Now you got both.
That is so cool. So we have had multiple guests, and I believe Damien was one for sure. I can't remember if Melissa said Italy too. I know she was talking about Thailand too, but Damien, a couple people have all said Italy. That's where I want to go. And you nailed it. You've been there. It's worth it, right?
Oh my God. My husband said yes. I mean, the text couldn't come back faster, but because he was like, Net, we're calling Sasha tomorrow. Are you guys in? And I'm like, yeah. So that's next year.
Oh, that's amazing. So Barbados, how old were you or young were you when you left?
Oh God, traumatic. Oh my goodness. I was 5. My parents had come to the U.S. to find the land of opportunity, but they left me with my grandparents, my brother and I. And I cried. You made me think about this today. I cried all the way from Barbados to, I think, New York. And that poor stewardess, God bless her. But because you were taking me away from all that I knew. So, but and I'm so grateful, as an adult, you understand. Um, but yeah, I left at 1972.
Aw, the year before I was born.
Thanks for that.
I got you. I was thinking, hey, we're all about the same age. That's a cool thing. So many women are either embarrassed or they don't want to talk about their age. But guys, in our world, especially lately, you don't know when your number is up. You don't know what kind of medical concerns will happen. In different towns, there are just random deaths that happen. Be thankful. I mean, granted, we got some more aches and pains at our age, but our age means we are alive and we are
Yep.
doing the thing. So,
Yep.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yes.
So, I have not been to Barbados. If you don't know, I have been to all 50 states and I have done a few cruises down there. I've been to quite a few of the islands and I went through the Panama Canal. And for some reason, Barbados has never been on one of the itineraries.
Put it on the list.
I think
on
I
the
need
list.
to.
Yeah.
I need to. And we already talked about how I need to get to Trinidad because
Yeah.
we have some real great reasons for me to get there. And now, have you actually been to Trinidad or have
I
you
have
just?
not. Nick promised to take me. I think she's going to pay for it. I'm not sure, but I'll check in with Nick.
Yeah.
But that's where she's from.
I think that is amazing. And of course, Lisa, who is usually on here too, is also. So it looks like I got one of my little stalkers on YouTube blowing up some not some great comments. I don't know how to get rid of him sometimes. So we'll have to see what happens. So hopefully nobody else has to see that. Because when you get on camera, when you put yourself out there, when your voice is even out there, sometimes people think it's okay to target you or it's okay to do what they want or say what they want, especially when you're in a woman's body. It just seems like that happens a little bit more often. So you are in the spotlight a lot. You did journalism for quite powerful things. Your voice and face have been out there. So think about, things that you've learned, things that you've done, things we may have seen you on. And then if you want to touch a little bit about what it's like when people want to harass you or they want to kind of throw you down when you're elevating yourself, feel free to share any of that.
I think with the journalism, that was so interesting to me because it's an interesting story. I said I wanted to be in this creative space, and I think the beauty of it was, even if I was on a little bit of a detour sometimes, I found my way back. In the second grade, my best friend's mom walked in the elementary school and said, "Where's the principal's office?" She turned out to be a powerhouse in radio in Chicago. Then she did television. Then she moved to Atlanta. So that was the little sprinkle that said, "Stay right here." Then I go to Susan Benjamin's English class and I introduced myself demonstratively. Do you remember Gina Tay? I don't know if you remember Gina Tay perfume.
I remember the name. Yeah.
Yep. I stripped the Gina Tay, put my name around it. I can't remember the tagline. And if you smell like this, your dreams will come true. I don't know, something like that. And Susan Benjamin said to me, "You're going to be in television one day." I said, "Okay, got that." Then my economics professor said, "You did really well. I think you should go to the Chicago Board of Trade this week and learn what you can. You might like it." Well, I saw them at 6:00 in the morning. I said, "This is not for me." But some kind of way, I stayed in that realm. I get to college and this guy helps my dad move all my stuff in. He's like, "What are you majoring in?" And I'm like, "I think business. I don't know." He was like, "Come into ag economics." And I'm like, "Okay." So I did that for a minute. And the next thing I know, I go gives this presentation and an English professor calls and says, "Who is that woman on the radio? She needs to be in communications." My boss at this time says, "I'm sick of you and I'm sick of people asking me about you. We have a presentation in Missouri. I'm driving you there." And Missouri is like a number 3 top school in journalism. So I end up doing that. And that's how I made my way into reporting. And I don't know if I'm answering your question, but the thing about journalism was I'm making an impact. I'm changing the community. And so that was glorious in itself. I don't really have any thing negative to say about it, but it's a lot of hard work and I learned a lot. And then I transitioned into voiceover after that because you can only do it for so long. And then I met my husband one day. I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm done with this. I want a life with him. So not sure if I answered your question, but
I love that. Did you run into any kind of the attitude or the negative women in journalism, women in doing all these great things?
I don't. I remember, God, what is her name? She came out with a book, Christine. Oh, it escapes me. But I was very blessed, Jackie. I can honestly tell you, doors would open up for you. I'd walk into places and, oh, that's Annette from so and so. So it had its great points. I don't have anything negative really to say.
I love that. I love that so much. I want to give a shout out to my friend Mary that's watching from Facebook. It's her first time ever watching Just Jackson Guess It. She gets to see you, Miss Annette. I love it. I love it. Guys, Just Jackson Guess is all about highlighting beautiful humans just like Annette here because your voice is important. Yes, she's written books. Yes, we've been co-authors together. Yes, she's been journalism. She does voiceover actressing, and you've got awards from that too. Tell us about your awards.
I was nominated. God bless you. Put it in the universe because we're getting ready back to go to LA.
Yay!
So yes, I had a commercial demo that was nominated last year, and it was amazing. So we were all in Beverly Hills, and just all these people were being honored. So again, the shy little girl. I keep saying shy sometimes, but I can be. So to walk into the Beverly Wilshire, I think it was, because that's where the award show was, and I remember going in the bathroom and crying, not because I didn't win, but your dreams are sparkling and they're coming, and you did it, right? Your names are in places. Doors will open for you. So that was amazing. That was amazing.
I love that so much. Yes, definitely putting it out there. And I am going to, just so people know, like, again, though, you don't have to be big and famous like Annette here. I mean, look at this picture. Look at this picture right here. Oh, how come it is? Oh, I got to get it off of the screen. Hold on a minute here. Why am I turning you blue? It was not blue when I pulled you up a minute ago.
I can't spell IT, Jackie, so I can't help you.
Girl, let me see. What it's such a gorgeous picture, like such a gorgeous picture. Let's go to another one that's also really good of you. Let's see here. Which one do I want to bring up? Let me see if you're going to be colored in this one or not. See, look at that. I got something crazy going on with my screen, so I don't know. But it's so cool, but it's bright red. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, but it looks great on YouTube. It looks great on LinkedIn, but for some reason, for me, it's not wanting me to see it. I wonder if it's the red color for some reason, but it's amazing. So I love it. Another thing, you do all these cool things. You go to different cities and stuff. You were in Chicago for your school, your reunion, right? Okay.
Yes.
So you're used to being all over the place, and you live in a very busy world in the DMV area and everything. Some people don't get out there and they don't get to see big cities and do different things like that. Do you have any words of wisdom for people that might be thinking about starting new or checking out a big city or possibly doing something out of their comfort zone?
I just think that it's just a big, wide world. Going back to the reunion, I was responsible for the memorial of the individuals that we lost, and we lost 15 beautiful souls that didn't get to see their life come into fruition. So I just feel like I was just always one of those kids that wanted to live and explore, and we've lost so many people. I was watching the memorial at the Emmys last night, and some people I didn't even realize was gone. So I just think that my core group of girlfriends, we just came back from Amelia Island, and we were talking about how lucky we still have each other, and that's going to be our mission. Hence the trip to Italy. We've got that. We've got the Bahamas in February. I mean, we're just making sure that we live our lives to the utmost. So I don't know if that's words of wisdom, but
I think just about everything coming out of your mouth's been pretty words of wisdom. So I appreciate this. Can we just look at this a minute? So do you see, everybody else sees it like the right color and everything. I must have some filter on because, technology, but you are reading to a classroom of kiddos. Share your book title and share what that's like for you.
That's actually my elementary school in Highwood, Illinois. And they let me come back and read to the kids.
Love that so
See,
much.
the first book is C is for Critifixer. Very quickly, I volunteered for my vet. He said, Nick, can you come fill in for my business manager? I said, sure. Oh, by the way, we got to go to the school. And they took my three-legged dog, Bailey. And a little girl said to him, well, why are you a critter fixer? He said, well, that's the name of my business. The real word is veterinarian. My mother made me spell it every day, the age of 6 up, in construction paper. So the reporter in me goes back to the office, writes this story, stick it on a thumb drive. He's like, will you please make me stop telling people? I'm like, you're going to need it one day. I put it on a thumb drive. My husband and I moved to DC so I could work for the Department of Defense as a writer. And my girlfriends called me, and then they went off on some tangent about lights, camera, action. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? They were like, oh, Dr. Ferguson got a show on Nat Geo called Critter Fixer Country Vets. And I swear to you, Jackie, before I could turn to them, my phone rang. So what'd you do with that book? I need a marketing. I said, you need a what? You mean the book that you told me you didn't like? And why was I writing it? So the first book was called C is for Critter Fixer. And it's about little Dr. Ferguson becoming a vet. And the rest, as they say, is history. So, yeah.
It is so cool. Like, I love that so much. If you have not realized, Miss Annie is like the king of audio events and then switch to live events. And he actually has a question for you. So we are going to have you answer his question now. How do you deal with the nerves when you are feeling shy and have to walk into big rooms in it?
Oh God, that's a good
That
question.
is a great question.
I don't
He's
know if you
amazing.
remember the Brady Bunch episode where was it Marsha was speaking and they told her just imagine everybody. Oh God, this sounds so awful now. I'm gonna say it. You remember they told Marsha, just remember everybody is not fully dressed. I'll put it like
I
that.
love that.
I don't know if I do that, but I just take a deep breath. And it's kind of like when I'm interviewing people and they're nervous, I always say, take a deep breath. We're in this together and calm down. And my nerves just kind of go away.
I love that. I love that so much. Annette, you have been a joy, and I got to share this with you if you didn't see this earlier. But Gabe said he had the honor of doing a live read
He
with
sure
you.
did. Hi, Gabe. He sure did.
Isn't that awesome? I
Yeah.
love when people support other people and they see the love. We could go on and talk forever about all the great things you've done. Guys, get to know Miss Annette. You want to learn about her. And granted, you might not have a commercial for her to do. You may not have a role in a movie for her to do. You may not have something that you need her services on now, but I bet you know somebody that does. I bet you might want to buy one of her books. I bet you she's probably going to be in some more books before too long because something just kind of tells me about that. What a Voice Communications. Check her out. Follow her on LinkedIn. Reach out if you have questions or information. Miss Annette, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
We got to connect again really soon. Thank you again for being so gracious to me all the time.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Have a good one.
Thank you. Guys, wasn't she great? Ah, such a good guest. So much more we could have deep dived in with her. She is amazing and I appreciate her so much. But our other guest is kind of amazing as well. And many of you know him because I can see you in the comments. And you probably were, some of you in his show just right before this one. You have probably heard that he's this kind of LinkedIn top voice, guys, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. Oh yeah, he might be HR, but he's so much more than that. And he may have even just became a international best-selling children's author or something like that. I do believe we're going to bring him up now because he deserves to be highlighted as much as possible. Mr. Felipe, get yourself off mute and say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jackie. It's so nice to be on your show. After watching it, I gotta say, you do a great job of interviewing people. And that's coming from someone who's done interviewing in HR for 31 years. Like, you have a really great way of putting people to ease, and you ask really great questions.
I appreciate that so much because some people, are critical of different people's skills or the way they talk, or if they talk too fast, talk too much. I think we've talked before in other shows about, some people will complain about my accent or how fast I talk. And when you and William were talking about, are we talking too fast yesterday? I'm like, oh guys, you could speed it up like 10 more times and this brain's going to keep up with you. I love it. And so I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. But now it's all about you. I mean, you got some cool stuff going on, and I want to jump into all of that, but I also want to put you on that seat again, because when you were on with the other work-life balance summit speakers, we didn't have enough time to ask all the questions and everything. So I want to really let you have a chance to shine. So tell us 2 things that you are proud of yourself for, Mr. Felipe.
One, I will say, I share the credit with my wife. She's really proud of how we've raised her children. Partially because I grew up in a house of youngest of 5 kids where we screamed and yelled and fought, and it was like chaos constantly. And it wasn't always the best way of resolving issues. We could have resolved it a little bit more emotionally intelligently. And seeing my kids address issues that at their age, me and my brothers would have been screaming and yelling and cussing at each other. And it's like, I'm so proud of how they turned out. And they get credit, obviously, for that. But the fact that we didn't pass on some of our bad habits, and that they're shining, and that they're just thriving, you always want your children to be better than you. They don't think that for some reason. I don't know why, but we do. We really do. And so, and then the other thing, I think, and this is just coming to me right now, I'm really proud of what I've accomplished in my 50s. I've accomplished more in my 50s than I ever thought I would, and a lot more than I accomplished in my 40s. That's for damn sure. And I'm just kind of surprised, because there were some really lows in my 50s too that happened. So it's been something that I'm just really proud of, that I'm not becoming an old fart.
I love that. So I've had a couple comments from both Gabe and now Annie that says that you're a little bit hard to hear. So they're wondering if you could get a little closer to the mic.
I lost my mic somewhere.
Thank you guys for noticing that, because I just wanted to make sure that he's doing his thing and he is talking.
Is this better? Because the mic's
so better.
The mic was on the couch.
I love it so much. It actually picked up pretty good from that far away, because I could hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. So is this better? Okay.
Without a doubt. So I just want to go back to that comment about the 50s, because Annette and I were just talking about being in our 50s. And I remember when my mom turned 30 years old. I was so young. And I'm like, I have the oldest mom in the world. And to think that was our 30s. And now we're scaling up the ladder and we are rocking and rolling. Raheem says it's better, definitely. Oh, Dr. Tanya said she's got a copy of your book already. Now, I have your book in my phone. My book in your phone. So before we get into your book, we got to do your 2 things you said was the way your family, your kids did not take on some of your habits. And oh my gosh, Felipe, you know the kind of work I do during the daytime. And I had one of our court-ordered groups for youth today. And so it was the youth and the parents. And we were talking exactly about that. If you grow up where there's a lot of loud noises, loud voices, scary voices, maybe some violence, your brain starts to think that's normal.
Yeah.
And when it starts to think it's normal, unless you have some major interventions, you become that same type of person almost always. Not every time, but almost always. So for you to see that and that it didn't happen with your kiddos, I mean.
Well, credit to my wife. She actually said, can we raise our kids differently than the way you grew up? And I'm like, because she was an only child. So she's like, I didn't have any of that chaos.
Oh, want to feel really old? Peter. Thank you. We needed to see that.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Wait until you're in your 50s and you're rocking a whole bunch of stuff, right? Felipe, you got all these different accolades too. You've got international best-selling author. You've got LinkedIn top voice, which very few people in the world have, and you've held on to it for a very long time. You do so much, and you are always active and busy in so many capacities. But like I told Annette, and like I tell every guest, and like I try to remind myself all day long, we are never too old. We are never too experienced. We are never too much of an expert to not need to learn other stuff or to grow personally or professionally in any capacity. Is there something that you're willing to share that you are focused on trying to work through or to grow or to learn about yourself?
About myself or a new skill? About myself? I'll start with myself.
Anything you want.
Oh, let me start with myself. I think for me, one of the things that I've realized is that, we can't stop age. Age is going to happen. But we have some control over the state of mind that we want to be in. And one thing that I've been trying to work on is still being that. Sometimes it's easy to use age as an excuse, like, oh, I don't need to learn that, or I don't need to worry about that so much, as someone who's younger. I want to be that. I'm still curious, like my mother at 93. My mother at 93 is like, okay, so what's this ChatGPT? Can I play with it? And she's like, oh, this is kind of cool, So I want to be that curious. But I would be lying if I didn't say, oh, this is just a sign of me getting old. And I started accepting it. And it's kind of like your body. Oh, my body's getting old. I can't do that anymore. No, that just means I need a little more exercise. Maybe I needed, So I'm just working on gently pushing myself to never get complacent, if that makes sense.
I love that so much. And I think too many people are complacent, or they don't think they want to spend the energy or time doing that. And when that happens, Felipe, our brains get mushy, and our brains don't want to be mushy. So I love that your mom is still rocking all that stuff, and that you're seeing that, and that that's where you want to be. I got to say though, our little comments about the whole 50 and stuff, I think I've seen more comments in this event of people outing how old they are than I've ever seen.
I'm really surprised.
And they keep coming. I'm loving this. It's like, oh, look at y'all. Some of y'all are just babies.
Can I also say one more thing, going back to the conversation we're having? Because I think that people also have to remember that when they're trying to take on things and learn things, I always try to think about, what else can I use this that I'm learning? Where else can I use this? And that motivates me. Like if I'm learning like AI for work, I'm writing a policy, I'm doing training in 2 weeks, I want to become familiar with it. Well, instead of just learning about it, I used it with the children's book. I'm using it with the intros for the Workplace Wellness Hour to really like sharpen. And I think that's something that's important for everyone to remember, is that when you're learning something new, find multiple reasons to use it if you can, because that might motivate you more and get you a little excited about it.
That's huge. I love that so much. And each one of us learn a little different. We get excited by different things, and some things come easier to us than other things too. So I love that you're focusing on that. Couldn't be anything to do with all your HR experience about helping others too. I love it so much. I'm so excited to get to your work stuff, but let's ask that last final question. I know you've already been to Italy, it sounds like, because you've already told other people what parts to go to in your family and stuff. But anywhere in the world, right now, no matter what your schedule is, no matter how much money it costs, where would you go to travel, to explore, to vacation at, if you could go anywhere right now?
Well, that's two different questions there. Travel or vacation, like travel to explore or go to vacation and relax. Because if I said vacation and relax, I would say Spain, because besides missing the family that I have there, we have the beach, we have a house there in a small town. It's so quiet, and it's truly a getaway, and you really kind of learn to enjoy being with yourself and people again. And it's just wonderful and beautiful. But ironically, I said Greece and Italy because everyone I know has been there but me. I haven't been there. I see other pictures. I see the videos. I see the family, my neighbor and his family, they show videos when they're there. I'm like, okay, I get it. I want to go to both those places. So either one of those, I would love to. Italy, I feel like I can understand the language a little bit more because similarities to Spanish. But Greece, the beauty, either one of those.
Oh, I love that so much. I mean, if you got the right kind of train or airline pass, you could probably hit all three of them. I mean, do a book tour, international book tour. I mean, it sounds like a great option.
I don't know if I ever told you this, with all your travel, your love of travel. When I graduated college, I took a leave of absence from Hyatt for like 6 weeks. And I backpacked through Europe, and we started off in Ireland. I went from Belfast to London to Amsterdam to Germany to Austria to France and then to Spain. And so, and all that on the Euro train, what's it called? I think. And stayed in hostels and all that. And that's just it's something that I think everyone should at least do once. go stay in a hostel, experience a country or two or more, because it's a lot cheaper than you think.
And there's a lot more diverse age ranges in hostels than there used to be. I think it used to be mostly just the younger group, and now it's a little bit more diverse. Now you're still going to get people that are there for either partying or for young, trying to meet new people, but there's also people that just want that reduced rate and that kind of community vibe while they're traveling. I did not know that about you. And I loved how when you were starting to tell us where you were going, you were literally traveling with, you were going with your finger the whole trip with you. It's like you were reliving it. I love that so much. Felipe, it is your turn to shine, my friend. So many people know you. So many people know about your recent book. They know about some of our books we've been in together with Nick as our publisher together. They know about all kinds of different shows you do, lives, the Careers Chaos and Coaching with Melissa Houston. You just did with Sumata and Ashley, your workplace wellness hour. You do so much. You were on William's show. You're going to be on Nick's show again. Or were you just on Nick's show? You were on Nick's show. Everything. You've been like 70 million places just in the past week or so, but you've done this for years. You have been showing up for other people. You have been helping other people by giving them free information. You have been highlighting other people. You do so much. I want you to take a little time to tell us a little bit more about you. Take it away. Tell us what you want us to know about you, Mr. Felipe.
What do I want you to know about me? I want you to know that everything I do on LinkedIn, first of all, it's to help others because people have helped me out in my life. Selfishly, it makes me feel good to be able to help others, but it is something that I feel like I found my purpose, one of my purposes in life. You know, we always say I hope we find our purpose. Being in HR and recruiting definitely is where I belong. I found my passion in there, but doing this and being able to give back this way, because I'll be honest, volunteering in person, I did, but it wasn't my strongest suit. I wasn't as good at doing it as I wish I had. And I feel like this has been one way to be able to help that and complement that in-person volunteering. Because the reality is everyone needs help at some point. We all stumble and fall in life. But just because you stumble and fall doesn't mean that you don't deserve some help getting back up. And when we can help people get back on track, a lot of times that's all they need to be successful. So just know that that's my intention here. Outside of that, know that I'm just a guy with strong family values. I really believe that family, and maybe it's just the Latino, maybe it's the brought up Catholic, whatever, but I do believe that you should forgive people if they are sorry for what they did, obviously, because it's too easy to burn a bridge. It's a little bit harder to build a relationship. It's very easy to burn a bridge. And I think that we use that excuse sometimes too quickly before we give somebody another chance. And so I always believe in that. I believe in giving second chances. Burn me once, shame on me. Burn me twice, burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. And so I think that it is something that we have to be smart about it, not naive. But I do want people to realize that I think people are truly out there and do have good intentions. They just make really bad choices. Outside of that, I'm a normal guy who's just trying to be better each day as a father, as a parent, as a husband, as a employer, as a dog owner, as a LinkedIn top voice. When I got that, I almost felt like a responsibility to make sure that everything I do is even better, because I don't take that lightly, and I wasn't striving for it. But when I got it, I was pretty excited. I won't lie. And by the way, I'm really red and hot because I was wearing a sweatshirt during the last show because I was colder for some reason, and it got really hot. So that's just in case everyone's wondering. But the last thing I want you to know is that Nick, and Guy, who really is the reason why this book, Miranda Max, came out and why I was able to make a 20-year dream come to life, because she encouraged something in me that I never knew that I could do. And for all those people out there that have heard someone say, hey, you can't do this, or don't do this, or you're not strong enough or smart enough or talented enough to do it, don't let those naysayers stop you from at least trying. Always try. If you fail fast, but try, because if I had listened to those voices in my head and ignored Nick, this never would have happened. I wouldn't have been in these other two books that Nick got me to co-write with with Jackie and a bunch of people and Melissa Houston. But this has been a 20-year dream that I always wanted. I wanted someone else to write it. And the fact that she gave me that inspiration to say, no, you can write about LinkedIn. I'm like, all right, LinkedIn, I can write about that. And it's like, how about your family? You can write about your family. I'm like, okay, I can probably write a chapter about that. And that gave me the courage to do this. And now she can't stop me. Now it's like the second book is going to come out with Brady, my son. This one's coming out in Spanish shortly. I created a video. I learned AI skills to do the video. So yeah, that's I'll stop there.
No, don't stop, definitely. But I do want to chime in because you gave a shout out to Nick and you talked about how she opened some doors for you. And that's actually one of the components of Noah Asher's upcoming book is about opening doors. And we just talked about it in our interview yesterday. He's going to post that later. And it's interesting that you use that term too. You know, you really talked about that because you had it inside you 20 years. 20 years. You needed someone to just crack it open a little bit and look at you. And I did hear those words, you're not stopping me now, or there's no stopping me now.
I mean, she could say I'm not going to be a publisher anymore, and of course do that. But the other books I had in my head, like I could always do one about Brady and Lucky because that whole story. I won't ruin all of it, but he actually had my mother call the fire department to try to get a cat out of the tree. That's part of the story. So it's one of those stories. So my mother, Brady, the cat, and Storm, our old dog, will be introduced in the next book. And then I have 3 other books. I'm going to stop at 5. You know, Felipe's 5. I got to have a limit. But in the book, I will say, let me just show you this because I want to say this story has been in my head for many years. And one of the characters in the book is Sammy the squirrel. This guy here. Sammy the squirrel was inspired by real life characters because this is the real Sammy that lived in our backyard for many years that my kids would say, oh, there's Sammy being lazy again. And so these were just, so part of it is letters to my kids and memories for them to share with their kids. But there is a story behind, a meaning behind each book. Like this one here is about being open to different people and don't judge people just on how they look and things of that sort. My son's book is going to be more about lessons of the obvious choice may not always be the best solution. You know, think about sometimes the easiest solution might be, you know, a little bit easier than doing something dangerous. I didn't explain that very well, but you get the gist.
I love that you're doing some little cliffhangers before the book's even out. I love it.
I speak with my hands. I should be Italian because I speak with my hands so much.
Well, I have some Hungarian in me, and that's what my mom always said is like, you speak with your hands because you're Hungarian. And I'm like, I don't know many other Hungarians, and I know a lot of people that speak with their hands. I think it's just our energy. We're passionate, right? So
yes.
all of our bodies. I love that. You know, Felipe, one of the coolest things is that, you know, and I heard when you and Miranda were doing the live together, and it was just like, you know, it's a legacy. You wrote in a legacy book, and then this book yourself that you created is a legacy. And it's something that, you know, I can't wait to see a picture of you like we had with Annette reading your book to the classroom and stuff like that.
In 2 weeks, I'll be doing that actually.
Make sure you got a good photographer because you deserve to have those pictures and those memories too. It is something that you may inspire some of those kids to become authors themselves, to look at some of their connection with their family and some of the things that they want to grow up to. And I just can't even, you know, I think, you know, but I was an elementary school counselor for 4 years. I was on the school board, very instrumental in a lot of school programming. And even when kids seem difficult, they seem like they're not paying attention. They seem like they've got too much energy. They are absorbing the vibe that adults bring to them. And you being able to literally read your own words that are out there, that's going to make an impact. It's going to make an impact. I'm so excited for you.
Can I share one thing that really, this is probably the biggest compliment I got from the book.
Please.
Was my niece's boyfriend has a son who's 5 years old. His name is Jackson. And she's like, oh, Jackson loves your book. I'm like, oh, that's great. It's like, she came over 2 nights ago. It's like, we've read your book every night for Jackson. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. That's sweet. And then I told Jackson, like, oh, Jackson, I made a video. You want to see the video? So I played the video. He made us play it for him over and over and over and over. He just sat there and laid down. He's like, again. And Copper's right there looking at him like, dude,
Take a break.
it's a song is with the thing. And then, so I'm like, Jackson, can I get a picture of me reading the book to you? He's like, are you really going to read it to me? I'm like, yes. So, but it was, that meant so much. I knew my daughter was going to like it, her name, her story, but to have someone who's completely not related to the family love it that much, that meant the world. So that's, I feel like I did something right there.
That is huge. So many youth are just given tablets and sent on their way to do that, laying down on I'm assuming like a living room floor or something like that. The whole family's around, even Cooper watching everything, that was community right there. And that was just a beautiful thing. And to be able to say, I know who these people are now, and I want to watch it. And my kids, oh my gosh, I don't know how old your kids are in relationship to mine, but I think they're pretty close.
Yeah.
I could watch freaking Teletubbies on repeat. I would much rather listen to your songs.
Teletubbies. Oh, God, no, I could not stand the Teletubbies. Oh, God.
I know. I mean, I even had them like when I had to babysit before I even had kids. And I'm like, why don't they just go away? But you've got a living legacy here, and you've got a song that's so beautiful. I've heard it in some of your other shows that you've shared it.
And I gotta give a shout out to Mike LeBlanc for that. Mike LeBlanc wrote that, and the words are just, my wife says it's a damn earworm sometimes that she can't get out of her ear, and because we've played it so many times in the house.
I love that so much. Michael LeBlanc, you rock. You just literally rock. And I've heard some other songs that you've done. The fact that you're giving your talent out there, again, if you're not active on a social media platform like LinkedIn, you may be missing out on having so many great connections, learning skills other people have, finding other coaches, finding other people that want to learn from you or they want to teach you. And Felipe, I think you have done such a great job with blending so many different co-hosts that you do, so many people you have on stage, and then being able to shout out somebody like Michael and being able to use his opportunity that he presented with you. I mean, that's cool stuff. That's not
just for the record, I actually hired Michael for that song from Miranda and Max. And so if you're looking to hire somebody, he's definitely available for that kind of work, because I said that I want this to be a legit thing. And so he was very generous with his time, but yeah, it's worth it. And I think those are the kind of things that when you find someone that cares like he does and like Nick do, that makes a difference.
And you guys are connected now literally forever. And you still haven't met Nick or Michael in person yet, right?
Nope. I've met more people outside of the U.S. on LinkedIn than I have in the U.S. Isn't that weird?
That is so wild. That is amazing. It is amazing. And I got to meet Miss Melissa Houston before you. So
I know. I'm very jealous about that.
I miss those audio events so much.
I know. There's something special about them.
Oh yeah. I love these because we get to see people's facial reactions and we get to see real-time comments instead of just the reactions. Because I could never keep up with all the comments on LinkedIn when it was the audio event, because my phone would kick me out or something like that. But the community that was built there has really translated into some of these live events. And you are definitely one of the spearheaders of being able to jump in right away and say, okay, my audio events are gone, so I got to do something different. Where some of us kind of held back just a little bit, or we weren't quite ready to take the leap. I know I was so nervous that first time I hit the go live button, and I'm like, my face is going to be out there unless I screwed it up and nothing's going to play, because it could have been that way either. But then being able to see new people that have came in, like the people that are joining our lives, some of them tonight that never were part of our audio events.
Exactly.
It's opened it up to a different branch, hasn't it? And I love
that. Absolutely. And what's wonderful about it is that as much as I was like nervous about other recordings and all that, I now love that we can share it on YouTube and Facebook and other things like that. And that it lives on there, because those were audiences that we weren't touching. And now, like, honestly, the Facebook, I got a lot of sales on Facebook because I have a lot of old friends that have kids. They're like, oh, you wrote a book? That's so cool. I'll buy it, And so you have that crew, and that's nice. So the support here on LinkedIn, though, hands down beats everyone else.
Love that. It's such a global opportunity to meet people outside of your normal community, outside of the people you went to high school with, outside of the people you go to work with or go to church or whatever you do. And it's important that people recognize that we count on our connections. We count on our connections. If you can't spend money on somebody's book, if you can't hire them to do your song, if you can't hire them to be your coach, giving a recommendation or sharing it with a friend that is looking for that. That's how we build our community. That's how we grow. Because, I'm trying to think of how many hours you've spent on live shows just this past week. That's almost like a full day's work, in all the information you've shared. You guys touched on AI. You guys talked on the, the topic that you guys just had was the whole
goals if we're locked in for 2025 goal setting. Yeah.
That stuff, some people would pay mega bucks for that. You're going to be presenting in the Work-Life Balance Summit coming up, and I'm a presenter as well with Dr. Tanya and Damien's event. I still have one $20 ticket available for
I.
How are people not spending $20 to get all this education?
And I meant to mention it in the other show, and I forgot. Damn it.
Go back to your comment section and write in there because it's so important, guys. The amount we spend on coffee in a week, well, some of y'all, because I don't drink it hardly ever. $20 is gone in 2 to 3 days for some people.
Definitely 3 days.
3 days. Okay. $20, you're going to get, how many presenters total? I think like 24 or 26, and you can rewatch sessions for up to 30 days. Nowhere in the history can you get that. Even if you pay full price for the summit, it's so worth it. I have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on stuff that it was the same presentation regurgitated by 3 or 4 different people, where these are all so different. Your topic, AI, is so exciting to me because you created that video.
Well, and part of it's because I'm actually doing training for my team at PRB in 2 weeks. We're writing the policy, we're creating use cases, we're going to have them do breakout sessions. And part of my motivation has been like, the more closer I get to training, the more I feel like I need to know a lot of ins and outs. I want to show them a lot of examples from the creative to the writing to the research. And really, so that's, again, one of the benefits. Like, okay, I got to do this for work, but it helped me personally too with the book. And I'm learning a new skill, so I don't feel like I'm that old.
Yeah, that's huge. And you're teaching us that kind of stuff is available and we can learn how to do it too. Felipe, I could just talk to you all night long because you and I don't always have this kind of time.
I know we don't.
We're doing stuff. You're on stage, I'm on stage, other people are talking in a group chat or something, but it has been such a pleasure to be just one-on-one with you like this. I wish you all the success that you deserve. I mean, keep it coming, keep rocking those 50s. I am here to support you. I am also here to learn from you. So I'm excited that all you share. If you have anything else you want to share about some of your different personal business, the link to your book, if you can go back in there and please make sure to put that in the link too. I know you're busy, so if you need to go to sleep, do it tomorrow. Or
I'll do it. But can I say thank you for just being amazing and just being so real. I mean, you are Melissa said it when you all met, you all said how you're just exactly how you all expected. That just says a lot about people. And I just wanted to say thank you for just being you.
I appreciate you. I think it must be really a hard lifestyle for people that are fake, that are one way on camera or on their little posts on social media, and they're another way in person. And I have my bad days. I have my cranky days.
Oh yeah, we all do.
Right now with some funding issues and some grants, it's our end of the fiscal cycle and the end of the month and end of the quarter all at the same time here in another 2 weeks that we're prepping for. I can get pretty agitated. Like I just need more hours in the day, but it's not that I'm going to ever shame people. And that's what, if you're interested in being a guest, you're not going to be outed. It's not a chance to try to come on here and have me trip you up or try to embarrass you or anything. It's about you as a human. And Felipe did not become a LinkedIn top voice overnight. He had to craft his image. He did not become an HR expert. He did not become an author just because he just woke up one day and just like, I'm just going to do this. You worked and you went through this, and people at all stage of those levels, they deserve to be hyped and supported as well. So I cannot thank you enough for all of the cool things I have learned from you over the years, the support you've given me, all the cool information you share. And I can't wait to be able to share your book. I want to buy it as a Christmas gift for a couple of people too. So I'm excited for that. So you take care.
Right.
I love you, my friend. We will talk soon. Okay.
Talk to you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Oh, guys, what a show. Annette, Felipe, how amazing. Guys, we could literally go on for hours and hours with all the amazing guests that come into Just Jackson Guests. Everybody is amazing because everybody is unique. You are meant to be amazing. So who remembers that I still need to show you my tattoo? Anybody still awake out there? I appreciate you guys. Okay, tattoos are not for everybody. Most of you know I am in a very professional role. I never thought I could have a tattoo that showed on my body for so many years. And then I started realizing it's kind of that age thing. It's back with that theme of the age that everybody's been talking about tonight. Once you get to a certain age, you realize that you have more experience in your entire body, brain cells, energy in your body than what's on the outside of your skin. Some people want to hold us back by the color of our skin, by the age our skin is, by what we put on it or don't put on it, the clothes we wear, the hairstyles we have. That's just people that aren't happy with themselves wanting to bash other people. I'm going to say that again. People that bash you on how you look because of skin color, because of your tone of voice, because of your age, because of how you dress, because of how you adorn your body or not. If they're bashing you, it's because they're not happy with themselves. So I started deciding, you know what? If you can't take me for the words I say, the education I have, the experience I've had for a gazillion years, then it doesn't matter what my skin looks like or not. So I started putting tattoos on myself because I wanted to have reminders for myself. Other people just do it for art. Other people do it because they're bored. You can do whatever you want as long as you're comfortable with it. Now, I'm not your all bosses, so I can't say for sure if you're going to have different regulations where you're at. So be careful with that. Also, make sure if you do decide to do tattoos, make sure you're going with somebody that is literally safe and licensed and all that cool stuff. So I had a couple different suggestions. Was it going to be on my neck behind my ear? Was it going to be on my back? Was it going to be on one of my arms, one of my legs, or was it going to be on my other hand? Because this one has one, this one does not. So you know that's not the answer. It is not on my neck or behind my ears. Definitely not on my leg. It's not on my back because I would never see it if it's on my back. And I put energy into these because I want it to be a memory for me. There we go. So it is on one of my arms. It is on my lower, this would be my left forearm, and it is my Scorpio signal or sign for the horoscope for the end of October birthday. It is like the daintiest tattoo ever. I'm used to these super thick lines and big, thick things. So it's a little different for me to adjust to, but I'm excited about it because it's definitely part of me. Gregory had guessed on my leg, and it's not. I appreciate you guys, like all of you guys. I mean, there's just so many different voices that have been in the comments that watch the show. Even when they don't comment, I'll get messages afterwards. Thank you for sharing that guest. I never knew they did that. I never knew somebody else had a situation kind of like me. That's why Just Jackson Guest is here. It is here to make sure that you know there's other really good things out there. We want to focus on mental wellness. We want to highlight diversity. We want to remind people that we are more alike than we are different. And sometimes we emulate people or we put them up on a pedestal thinking, oh, we'll never get that, or that's lifestyle isn't meant for me. But if you've never had that door open to let you say, guess what, you could possibly learn or grow in that capacity, just watch some of our past guests. Watch what they've accomplished. Some of them never thought they would do what they're doing today, even 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, and look at them now. Guys, you deserve to get your words out there. You deserve to do great things. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to be mentally healthy. This world is hurting. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself without hurting yourself or other people in the process. I cannot wait to launch more information about my upcoming new branding. I hope you guys jump along and kind of watch that. It will be soon. It'll be in the next few days. I may wait until Monday's show to unveil it. I may wait until the Monday after, or it might be during the week. We have a couple amazing guests coming up next week. We have Mr. William Rochelle that says he has not been a guest on somebody else's live yet. He's going to be the first guest, he's going to be my guest as a first guest for himself. But he hosts, he does some really cool shows. He interviewed Felipe yesterday. It was great. And then we've got a really cool another author that's going to be published through Nick again. And I believe the launch date is the 19th. And so their show is on the 22nd. Dr. Steve will be here talking all about his Mosaic blended family lifestyle book. It's going to be amazing. We're going to learn some awesome things from both of them. Both have different kind of backgrounds, energy levels. It's going to be awesome. I love it. I love it. I love having people on stage with me that want to show who they are. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you tune in every single Monday night, for me at least. It's Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Some of you, I know it's a little earlier, a little later. Some of you like when it's people from the other side of the world. It's just super early in the morning, or it's the first time of the morning. So take care of you. And if you want, now that I've done my first recorded show, it aired yesterday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Mia Resort. We can do a recording too if this doesn't work for you to do it live guesting. Take care. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I definitely want to make sure to highlight you as much as I possibly can when it's your turn to be highlighted. Okay. Thanks, guys.